All right, guys, the Hawks had a decisive win over the Lakers Tuesday, 138 to 122. And it's one of those interesting things because obviously now they have had 2 wins. Woo woo. And if they get a win tomorrow, Friday, then it's going to be 3 wins. And I say that because, you know,
Good
we'll
job,
have like
Tintin.
stretches we'll have stretches of a month or two before we get 3 wins in a row, right? So yeah, there is a little bit of excitement or a little bit of hype around it. But let me ask you this, Maria. Do you think that that actually means that the Hawks have actually turned the corner? If you think so, tell me why. But if you don't think so, what would you need to see personally to make you feel like they are starting to turn the corner and going in the right direction?
I mean, I feel like it's the same thing I've echoed for the whole first half of the NBA season. Like, consistency is what I want from the Hawks. And that's very hard to do in the NBA, obviously. But when you see that decisive win over the Lakers, and I was there for a little bit of the game and definitely for pregame, but I watched it back at the station. The Lakers are not a good team, and they're not a good team right now. So I don't look at that and think, okay, the Hawks have turned a corner. It also tells me that all of these trade rumors, who knows what's actually going to happen, especially because D'Angelo Russell's been playing a lot better as of late. Who knows what the Lakers are going to do with him, but the Hawks fans don't want him. Did you hear everybody heckling him when he was at the free throw line and they said, "We don't want you"? That's fine. But I think consistency from this team, you know, you're getting DeAndre Hunter back, which will be huge. Obviously, he was on a minutes restriction against LA, but I think that I want consistency in both the front and backcourt. And that's something that we haven't seen from this team since the beginning of the year.
And I'm glad you said front court, Maria, because there has been so much attention on the Trae Young, Dejounte Murray partnership. But I honestly don't think that's where your biggest challenges are. I think there are a lot of challenges with the big men. And Jarvis, although this is the first time in 2 months that you've seen the first 8 on the depth chart actually play together, I do agree with Maria. I think that this is not the Lakers team that you saw win the in-season tournament. This is a Lakers team that came in off of a back-to-back in Houston that was without Anthony Davis for the 3rd time. And they're a team trying to find their way and figure out who they really are as well. So I would agree. I don't necessarily think this is a turn the corner. To me, it was just a game that you win, that you're supposed to win. And let's see what you do with the rest of this West Coast gauntlet when the Suns come into town and you take them on Friday, when you take on the Warriors Saturday, and when you take on the Clippers Monday.
Yeah, it's all about, you know, trying to build something, right? Because one of the things that I feel like has stood out in these couple of wins that the Hawks have gotten is you've seen Clint Capella be a little bit more involved. You start to see a little pick and roll and all that stuff. And he even talked about that's the type of game that we need to play, you know, and I think that he needs to be a catalyst for that, right? Because he was one of the reasons that kind of hid all of this stuff because of, you know, his defensive prowess and what he brought to the table and the pick and roll with he and Trae to get that element going pretty quickly early on and often. But I think overall, like this team needs to kind of see how this plays out, because I think a move at the trade deadline is not going to make them better, because all you hear or all you see is talking about, you know, being able to save money against the salary cap and or luxury tax, and we talking about aprons, and I was like, I don't even know if y'all talking about cooking in the kitchen or you talking about wearing an apron and all. It's just too much confusion. Nobody's talking about winning games and getting better and being able to compete. So here's the thing: Quin Snyder figure out how to get these boys to consistently play like they have in these past 2 games, and win the games you're supposed to win, because you're in 10th place right now. You were 7 games under 500. So if you run off a few wins and start to get some momentum, you can potentially possibly make a run at it in those teams that are in front of you, because we know the East is a little shaky right now, at least in the middle of it, for the most part. So I think this is a space where the Hawks need to find the consistency, like Maria mentioned, and they need to start down low.
Indeed, indeed. And I got to tell you, one question, just a rapid fire question for you guys, because we are a week away from the trade deadline. Maria, do they make a move? Can they make a move that'll even make a difference on the back side of this trade deadline and second half of the season?
Yeah, I think they do make a move, but I don't think it's what people are going to expect it to be. You've seen the rumors come out that Quin Snyder is lobbying to keep Dejounte Murray. I think his perimeter defense has been the worst it's ever been in his career, but I think a guy like Quin Snyder can turn it around. I don't know if we're going to see Dejounte Murray leave this team. If you would have asked me a couple weeks ago, I would have said yes. I'm going to say that it'll be a trade that makes everyone confused and doesn't make the team better.
Yeah.
And here we go. And I got the perfect candidate too, Marie. I'm glad you said that. That is the perfect segue. AJ Griffin probably is going to get traded at the deadline. I would not be surprised at all because no one can explain why this dude isn't playing.
Yeah.
Like, where are my Chris Kirschners of the world? You know, people feel the way how they feel about Chris Kirschner, but
he'd ask that question.
Man can do it. He can find the story. He can find out what the issue is. I think we need a Chris in our lives, but yeah, I think it'll probably be someone like AJ Griffin because, like, at the end of the day, I feel like for what we saw in his rookie season, he should be playing. I don't think he's, you know, especially on this team, you know, when Trae Young goes out, like, or is not playing, the man should be playing.
And you have no offense.
Reason.
You have no perimeter shooting.
None.
If Bogdan, and we saw it the other night when Bogdan Bogdanovic was in the starting lineup, you got exactly 10 points from the bench, all from Onyeka Okongwu. So I'm thinking to myself, if we could save DJ, which I'm in favor of, by the way, but if we can save him, I think we need to try to save AJ too. But yeah, I kind of like this whole thing because Maria, 3 days ago, if you'd asked me if Dejounte Murray was out of here, from the word that was on the street and maybe on the street inside that arena, it was yes. But all of a sudden, in the last 24 to 48 hours, it's been a change. So whatever that is, these three will keep you guys updated on the moving soap opera that is the Atlanta Hawks.